The lob shot has to be one of the coolest shots in golf. I absolutely love playing it. But the way that we play it changes quite dramatically based upon the lie. I'm going to show you exactly how we change that and why we change it out of specific lies. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a free lesson. I'm here to help you every single week with a new video. And check out the description and the first pinned comment just down below for a completely free swing analysis, which I'll complete personally for you. Let's talk about when we actually need to play a lob shot. What's the point of it? Now, a lob shot is one of your highest margin for error shots. It's going to be really difficult to pull off, simply because we've got to play it with loads of loft and a big long swing with lots of power. And in that, lots can go wrong. It's a long swing. So only use it when you absolutely need it, when you need loads of height to get over an obstacle like a bunker or a hill where you don't have any other solution. And how we play it can vary massively depending on the lie. Typically, for a lob shot, we're going to play the ball a little bit closer to our front foot. We're going to have the club face quite well open here. The more open, the higher it's going to go. We're going to place a little touch of weight on our lead foot here with quite a wide stance, and we're going to have the handle of the club reasonably low. It's not going to be too high. Beyond that, there are some subtle changes we can make out of these lies. So our first lie here, the ball's sitting up quite high and it's actually well above the surface of the ground. So the surface of the ground is down here and the ball is way up here. It's almost an inch off the ground, sitting up high on the grass. Now this lie gives us loads of options. We can maximize height off this lie because strike is much easier to get in a lot of ways. Whereas this lie here, the ball is actually lying on the surface of the ground. It's on a little bit of a muddy patch underneath the roots of the grass. Now, when you're looking at it initially, you'll see the ball around a lot of grass and you might think it's an okay lie, but don't be fooled. This is a very difficult lie, and the way we play these shots are going to be very different. Out of our first lie here, where the ball is sitting well above the ground, we can maximize height. We can get some unbelievable height on this golf shot. Now, we're going to do that in a couple of ways. I'm going to move the ball position slightly more forward than I would typically, so it's almost off my lead toe here. I'm going to open up the club face quite substantially, so it's almost pointing straight up in the air here. I'm going to place a bit of weight in my lead foot and take my stance exceptionally wide. So all of this is going to help me launch the ball up really high. And I'm going to sense here, as I swing, I'm going to take it much, much longer than I typically would. Because I've opened up the face so much, I'm going to need a lot of speed to get this ball to go the distance I want it to. So I'm going to take a much longer swing here, and I'm going to sense it impact it. I'm going to let the club head here work past the hands as I strike the golf ball and finish with the handle of the club pointing back to almost my right leg here. So the club head is working past the hands, pointing back to my right leg like so, and this is going to maximize loft for this shot. You want to sense that the actual strike itself is going to strike the grass just before the golf ball. It's going to work just underneath the ball and actually swing slightly upward to get this ball to elevate. Now, because the ball is not on the ground, I can play it like this. If the ball was right on the surface of the ground, I can't get underneath the ball because I'm going to duff it. But because it's lifted off the ground, I can literally get underneath it and lift it up into the air with loads of height and loads of speed. So loads of height, I've actually not hit it hard enough and it stopped just before the target here. That was a lovely shot, and you'll see how quickly that golf ball has stopped. Because the ball went so high and I hit it with so much speed and loft, it's come out with a lot of spin and it's come down at a very steep angle. Basically, this means the ball hits the ground and stops super quick. Unfortunately, when you play it like this, although you've got loads of stopping power, it's really hard to control the distance. I've came up well short there because it's just super hard to anticipate how hard you have to hit it. Because the more that we open the club face, one, we have to swing it infinitely harder, and two, we're going to see a lot more slippage on the club face with the golf ball. So instead of the ball gliding across the face, creating a lot of friction and coming off very consistently off the face on every shot, we start to see a lot more inconsistency with how the ball pops off the face. Sometimes comes out higher, sometimes a touch lower, and oftentimes the distance is drastically affected because of that slippage. So on to our second line. Now, this is mere inches from where the first one was, but this is a completely different shot for a number of reasons. Like we touched on before, the golf ball itself is sitting on the surface of the ground. It's much further down. So I don't actually have loads of room underneath the ball here to work the club underneath. So now that option of getting the ball super forward and getting the club working almost upward here isn't really available to me. So I'm going to play it slightly differently. I'm still going to play it with quite an open face, though not as much as before. I'm going to play it with the ball slightly further back, though still forward. Here I'm still trying to maximize height, but I need to maximize the strike as well so that I can get the right distance. So the ball's forward, though not as much as before, and the face is open. I'm going to play it with a touch more weight in my left side here, and I'm going to focus on the golf swing here, finishing with the handle of the club, instead of it pointing back at my right leg like before, I'm going to focus on it pointing more towards my lead hip. So the release is going to be a little bit more held off, and all of this is going to help me strike this golf ball a little better. So I'm going to try and get the golf club working a touch less upward here, and it's going to work a touch more downward and into the back of the ball so that I don't have loads of grass caught up between the club face and the ball. That's going to help me anticipate the distance. I'm not really trying to get too much ground early here before the ball, although I'll get a touch. I'm trying to get the ball to be reasonably close to first contact with the club face here. This should come out considerably lower than before, and because the face isn't as open, I don't have to have quite as long a swing. So it's going to run out, come a bit lower, but I should still be able to hit a decent shot. That's quite nice. You can see how much more that's rolled out, but I've still got a considerable amount of height on that. Now, because the ball's sitting down so low and the grass is quite wet and sticky, we've had a lot of rain here lately, the club actually stuck into the ground just a touch, and that's perfectly fine for this type of shot. We just have to be very, very good at striking the ground at the right point and hitting it with an appropriate amount of speed. This is a really difficult shot, and when you're in this sort of lie, you need to make sure you maximize strike first and think of loft and height second. When you're playing your lob shot, the number one thing I want you to take from this lesson is look at the lie. The lie comes first. Depending on how the ball is sitting in the grass, or not in the grass, if you're playing it off the mud, probably going to be a tough one. That is going to dictate all of your shot options. It's going to completely change the way that you play it. On the first shot there, I had all the options available to me. I can get right under the ball, I can throw it right up in the air with loads of speed. But the second, I didn't have those same options because the lie is only an inch different. It makes all the difference in the world. Always look at the lie before you decide the type of shot you're going to play, and look to maximize the consistency of your strike and landing point rather than just always going for loads of loft. Let me know your thoughts on all this down in the comments below. Are you really good at looking at the lie before you pick your shot type, or is this something you stumble with sometimes? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Subscribe so you never miss a free lesson, and check out the description and the pinned comment down below in the comments for a completely free swing analysis so that I can help you play some better golf. Thanks again. Have an incredible day.